Sarah felt despised, like she was despised by her. Maybe she thought because, Hagar was pregnant and Hagar thinking she got one up on her. You know how y'all women be. She got one up on her because now she has the baby. You know how women be. I mean, if any man had women in here, you know what I mean? But that's how women are. She has the baby. She feels the other woman feels some type of way about it now. So now she regrets that she did this. That's the wrong she's talking about. Not that she committed a sin. These are righteous people. He's a father of nations. Adultery is a sin.
He's a father of nations through
if adultery
Isaac,
is a sin for you,
not through
why would
Ishmael.
you think the creator of the heavens and the earth will have a prophet who is supposed to be a model for the nations committing adultery, going against God's word? Just use your brain and think.
Okay, hang on, folks. Let me show y'all what he's functioning off of. He's functioning off of a doctrine called Ismah. Ismah is the sinlessness of the prophets. It developed 3 centuries after Muhammad. However, that can't even be said of Muhammad himself or the prophets in the Quran, for the Quran mentions the sins of the prophets. They believe in some concocted idea of Ismah, which originally was used by Shias to describe their imams, talking about how once they entered into prophethood, they were no longer able to sin. He's retrojecting a freaking foreign prophetic tradition onto the Hebrew prophetic tradition, and that's why you're flustered like you are right now, because you don't believe, guys. You just emphatically mentioned that you brought up the fact. Are you guys saying that the great prophet Abraham, the father of nations, committed adultery? You're saying that because you buy into a tradition which was developed after Muhammad, which claims that once prophets enter into prophethood, they can no longer sin. That's nowhere in the Bible. No prophet ever taught that. Jesus never taught that. The apostles never taught it. That's the Arabic prophetic tradition. Abraham is a Hebrew. Chapter 14, verse 13. All of the prophets are of the Hebrew prophetic tradition, not an Arabic prophetic tradition. That's a foreign tradition, a non-Yahwistic prophetic tradition. The true prophets of God, in the name of Yahweh.
Let DL finish, bro. DL, I wanted to hear the end because he kept interrupting. I wanted to hear that.
Okay, I need you, for everybody, when Muslims talk like this, the reason why they reject, they claim that the Bible is corrupted because it mentions Lot having sex with his daughters, that comes because they bought into a 10th century doctrine called Ismah. Ismah, I-S-M-A. It's a doctrine in which they've applied to the prophet, saying that once a prophet enters into his prophetic ministry, he can no longer sin. Small or great sins he cannot commit. Therefore, if you were to say that Abraham committed adultery, that goes against a non-Quran. It's a non-biblical and a non-Quranic doctrine, which Muslim scholars developed 3 centuries after the time of Muhammad. That's why he's arguing the way he is. So I'm telling you guys that because it adds as a matter of fact, and I'll finish right here. Here it is, Malachi. This is Islamic scholar Mona Siddiqui in her book, Christians, Muslims, and Jesus, Yale University Press. Okay. She says, there developed a particular doctrine that came to be associated with prophets, which is protection from falling into sin or making mistakes. This came to be known as the doctrine of Ismah. Though it cannot be said even of Muhammad that impeccability or sinlessness of the prophets is a doctrine supported by the Quran. By the time of Al-Ashari, 10th century, it became orthodox dogma that after assuming office, it is not possible for prophets to commit any deadly or even minor sins. That's what he's functioning off of, and he's trying to impose that false Arabic tradition onto a prophetic tradition that's of a Hebrew nature. You guys need to understand that when you're talking to these Sunni Muslims and stuff. Anyway, I'll land right there.